Peace, peace, peace. Welcome back to Send the Record Straight podcast. It's vicslanghope,
Sky.
and today we're gonna be talking about misconceptions about women. Not about women. I feel like when it comes to like certain assumptions and certain things that are communicated by the way we dress, by the way we talk, by some of the things that we do, it's easy for people to kind of like have assumptions about people. It's kind of easy for people to have misconceptions. I think this is something that happens with men and women. I just think that sometimes when it comes to women, maybe it might affect women more, you know, in certain cases. But I feel like, yeah, like I feel like, we look oftentimes we look at people, we see the way they dress, we see the way they talk, and we kind of like assume certain things about them, right? Or we come up with certain misconceptions. But sometimes it's not misconceptions. Sometimes, it's some validity there. But I think we just wanted to talk about, like, kind of like the misconceptions, like how people assume the wrong things sometimes just based on the way we address and the way we talk. So, for example, like one of the things that we have wrote down was like it was like tongue ring, right? Like, and it's funny because me and you was just talking about this. And it's like tongue ring growing up, like that was just something that was automatic. Like if you had a tongue ring, like people automatically thought you suck penis. Like it was just like, and I don't know. It's funny because me and you was just talking about this, and you was also saying like certain things about like, like why you decorating your mouth, and you talking about like the other piercings. But I feel like some women might fire back at those type of things. Like I don't know, like I don't know. I guess that's like a conversation that the sisters, I would like to hear more from like the women, when it comes to kind of like those things, because like we kind of like on the outside, and we might know like certain women that do it, like that do have them. But like I don't know what, like what's the other end of that, right? Like what's at the back end of like the conversations amongst women and how they feel about that.
Right. So I'm definitely not a fan of tongue piercings. I'm not really a fan of face piercings in general. Besides like nose piercings, I just don't really like them. I'm not a fan of them. But I definitely agree with you. So even though, despite like my opinions on tongue piercings and stuff, I don't think I don't think you can automatically jump to that conclusion, or you should automatically jump to that conclusion that just because somebody has like a face piercing or a tongue piercing, that they necessarily are engaging in a lot of oral sex. To some people, a lot of people get tattoos and piercings as a way of just like expressing themselves, and they're into like body modification and a whole bunch of other type of stuff. Um, but I think like another misconception that I want to talk about is I think um, dressing, right? Like I feel like sometimes, men assume that because a woman is dressed a certain type of way, that she should not be respected. And I think that sometimes I think that's not cool, right? Like I think that no matter what somebody should no matter what somebody wears, like it doesn't necessarily give you a right to like disrespect them or to like inappropriately like touch them. So for me I think that's the number one misconception that I think about women, especially like curvy women, right? Because I feel like, there's certain petite women, there's certain slim women that can wear like very short shorts and it doesn't necessarily come off as like very sexual, right? Because they may not have like a lot of curves versus a woman who does. And she may be wearing the same exact thing, but she's going to be perceived as as being very promiscuous. So yeah.
So when you say disrespect, what you meant? Like you talking about like catcalling, or like
I'm
is
I'm
it
talking about
related to like catcalling, or like what?
I'm talking about catcalling. I'm talking about physically like walking up and like putting your hands on them. I'm talking about you men engaging with them and not and feeling like because they dress like that, like they just shouldn't be regarded with the same respect as a woman who may be more clothed. Um, yeah, I'm talking about a myriad of things, but the first thing that comes to my mind is catcalling.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like it's a I don't know. I feel like me and you have had plenty of conversations though, and I feel like we even talk about like dressing. Like I feel like at the same time, like yes, there are certain things I do go overboard. By the way, the stories is coming, man. The stories is coming, bro. But yeah, I think we talk about a lot of things, and I think that at the same time, like, yeah, there's a misconception, but I also feel like at the same time, it's like the way you dress, it gets you in and out of places. You know, like when we talk about job interviews, right? When we look at like certain things, right? There are certain things that we so-called deem appropriate for school. We so-called deem appropriate, like even for like club settings, right? Like some people say, like, oh, there's a dress code. You got to wear this. When you go to an interview, you got to wear a certain thing. When you go to certain places, you just have to wear certain things, right? I don't know how like the whole shit came about dress codes and this and that, but I just feel like at the same time, like people, like we spoke about this, like people look at people and they automatically judge based on what you got on, right? Like if I go outside with a do rag and a hoodie, people automatically gonna have certain notions, some preconceived notions about me. Make sure y'all like the video, by the way, if you like the conversation. So people already gonna have a certain preconceived notion, right? And I think that yeah, like sometimes people be telling their kids like, yo, don't wear a do rag when you go outside, right? Because of they don't want their children to be viewed a certain way or targeted by police or just certain things. Like even the hoodie. Sometimes people be like, don't wear a hoodie, you know. So I think that yeah, there's even misconceptions in that, right? And assumptions. But I think at the same time, it's like it's as messed up as it may sound. Like it's also like if we know we put like some kind of target on our back when we wear certain things or when we do certain things, even though maybe it shouldn't be like that, right? Like that's not the world that we live in. The reality is that like when we do certain things, when we come out our homes in a certain way, dressed up a certain way, we're gonna get certain attention. And I think like as a man and as a woman, we should be cognizant of the fact that like, yo, when I leave the crib wearing this, I already know what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's fucked up, it's messed up, right? Because it's like, damn, like why should I have to be worrying about certain things like that? But it's like, yo, you also gotta worry about the reality. You know what I'm saying? Like we sometimes we get into this space where we just like get all about like how the world should be and ignore how the world really is. So and I also would say that like, yeah, I think I wanted to say that because I just feel like there is some cases because I remember at one point you was like, you're not telling me it's that he was like, you're not telling me you don't do certain shit if you got that shit in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? But like it's also fucked up to think like that. But I don't know. I just think it fluctuates. I think like sometimes people do be doing that. Like sometimes people do be getting crazy. Some people come out wear certain like I was telling you like it's funny like when I was telling you I was in Miami and I was just like in Miami people say all the people go there to whore around. You know what I'm saying? Like and it's like and it's like a trend like with the sundresses, right? Or just having the dress with no underwear on. Like it's like to some women, right? To a lot of women might be like, oh, I'm just doing that because I don't want to have panties on. It's hot. Like, you know what I'm saying? But to a lot of people, to like a lot of men and women, that shit scream hope. Like you out here trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to get into something. So like, yeah, I just yeah, I don't know. I just feel like certain shit just give off certain messages. And it might be wrong, but it does. You know what I'm saying? That's like if I came out with you and I had a do-rag on and we going to a spot, like you might be looking at me like I'm crazy. You might be looking at me like, yo, bro, like what are you doing? And I feel like I went to a spot the other day and a girl had them little fluffy furry slippers on. Like it's just like certain shit just be like what the fuck are you doing? Like why you came outside with the flurry slippers to a nice little you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I just feel like the clothes we wear um also like kind of like where us like also kind of like represents us in a way. It shouldn't be like that, but I feel like it's also the reality of the place we live in.
Right, right. I think you made a lot of good points. I agree with you. I was thinking about another misconception. I think there's usually, and this is like more connected to like the workspace. I think that oftentimes a lot of people, when making decisions on whether or not they want to hire women or not, a lot of people come up with the conclusion that women aren't as committed as men, right? Especially if they have children. They believe that, just men are just going to be more dedicated, that men are just going to be more likely to like show up for work. Men are going to be more likely to like sacrifice certain familiar duties to be at work than women. Um, and I think that's a myth. And I think that varies. I think it varies because I know there are women who like have sacrificed like motherhood, like for like a great corporate job, or women who are not interested in children at all because of their career. So I just was thinking about that, like how oftentimes like I think that people within specifically within the workspace, I think people just think men are like more dependable than women.
When they have, you said that's another misconception, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at the history of like, I think like, I mean, there's some validity to it because when you, that's how kind of like the history came up. That's kind of like how women started getting less money than men. You know what I'm saying? Like it was kind of like um they rationalization behind like the pay, right? The division of pay was that like, women are the primary caretakers. Like even if you got two parents in the household, the father's not the mother's gonna get called way before the father is, right? So it's like I can't tell you no, right? So it's like it was like just this thing about like, whatever. That was just kind of like their justification of like why they pay women a certain thing. It was just like you're more prone to have to leave to go take care of somebody, not just your kids, like what I'm saying, like family member or whatever the case might be, because that's just how they deem the roles of women, right, and men, when they construct it,
Hmm.
like what I'm saying. So yeah, there's definitely that there too. And what is another thing? Yeah, I just think like certain piercings and certain clothes we wear, it's just kind of like men just feel like, yeah, like you just out here, you're out here showing your shit. And I think like yeah, like I just think we just got to be realistic. Like what I'm saying, like the shit that we wear is gonna bring us unwanted attention. It could be from the police, it could be from thirsty men, it could be from wherever, right? And I just think like I think like the reality of like just feeling like, oh, I should be able to do anything or say anything, and like nobody should be able to like bother me or say nothing to me. I don't think it's like really realistic. When we really think about like the shit that's going on, the people that's getting approached, like kind of like what you said, right? Like certain men gonna go after a certain woman, right? Like some men like the mystery. Some men like she's covered, she's not really showing much, she's not really doing certain things. And it goes the same thing for the guy, right? Like when you come outside and you're a dude and you got all the jewels and stuff, women look at you a certain way. They looking at you like, oh, like he got money, right? Like they looking at you like, oh, he look like he got a few dollars. I'm gonna try to get a few dollars out of him. Like so it's just a certain messages get communicated when we do certain things. So I just yeah, like I was just saying, like we just need to be. I just think that yeah, we just need to be mindful of the eyes, and at the same time, like I had conversations with other women, and we be talking about this, like when people get dressed, because a lot of times women like to say like, oh, when I get dressed, I'm not thinking about nobody. Like I get dressed and I get cute for myself, or like what I'm saying, like I'm not like I'm not mindful, like I'm not thinking about nobody else, like I'm just like, and I feel like that shit is bullshit. I feel like I feel like yes, you like to look cute. Of course, we like to look good, but I think also um unconsciously or subconsciously, we also thinking about where we going, who gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times we be like, oh, what's name gonna be there? You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times our sisters got these whole body mirrors. They looking back, you know what I'm saying? They're doing what's it called? The 3/4 turn. You know what I'm saying? They're doing the 3/4 turn to see the angle, you know what I'm saying? See what other people gonna see. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just think like, come on, we gotta be real with ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you wanna look good, but at the same time, we're also being mindful of who gonna be there, where we going, and what we trying to show. You know what I'm saying? Guys do it too. When guys wear certain shirts, they be like, I'm gonna get the shirt with the tight cuff around the arm, so my biceps can stick out more. So I'm gonna wear a tighter shirt. Or what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna wear tighter pants, you know what I'm saying? So my thighs can stick out. Or like, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like we do certain things because we want to be noticed. I'm saying, like, do we want the harassment? Do we want the certain things that come with it? Of course, probably not, right? But we just got to be mindful, you know what I'm saying, like, that we're gonna get certain attention.
I think it's a I hear what you're saying. I think it's a slippery slope sometimes because I think that I agree, right? Like I feel like when women say like, I don't get dressed for nobody, I get dressed for myself, you know what I'm saying? That's not 100% true, right? But also at the same time, I feel like, for women, I think that, and I say this all the time, right? Like women's value, the way society works, right? Is that women's value is in their looks and men's value are in their pockets, right? So men focus on wearing like designer things, right? Indicators that they have wealth, right? Whether or not that's a watch, that's a belt, that's a car they're driving. They focus on attaching materialistic things to themselves to indicate that they are financially well off. And women like to show off their cleavage. They may like to show off the fact that they have like a really like small waist or like a really nice body, right? And part of that is because men tend to this the world is a little bit easier to navigate when you're attractive, right? When men deem you as desirable, right? Men may tend to be nicer to you, right? You may be able to get free things or to get into places for free, right? You may be
Yeah,
able you may able yeah, like there's just so many different just this world is like I said, is a little better for you to navigate, a little easier for you to navigate when you're an attractive woman. So I feel like I understand why women make investments into their beauty or into showing off certain things, and I understand why men make investments into their cars and their fancy clothes and so on and so forth. And now, while there are some people that may look beyond that, right? There are some women who may not be interested in a man because of his materialistic things. And there are some women or some men who may not be interested in a woman because she has a nice body, right? Or that's not the thing that's gonna like necessarily make them want to be with you. I understand why both of these things exist. It's not fair, but I understand why a woman would like to appear as attractive or would want to be desirable to men.
yeah, definitely, I agree. I think that, yeah, yeah, I agree with a lot of things you said. Yeah, and I think like that's another misconception today, right? Like when people see a woman with a beautiful body, they would be like people just automatically start thinking like she probably had surgery, like she
Right.
probably like the first thought is like never. She probably goes to the gym. She probably eats good. She probably takes good care of her body. It'd be like the first thought nowadays, like because there's so much surgery and so much different things going on. It's just like
Right.
she had to get her shit done. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like people dead ass be having debates about like, nah, I think she you think her shit real? Like, yo. It's funny because sometimes we even be saying shit like that, right? Like we be like,
Mhm.
I'd be like, nah, her shit, nah, I don't know. Like, no, the doctor probably did a good job. Nah, but that's another misconception today that is very, very prevalent, right? I think also like if you're getting money during this pandemic and you're a guy, you know what I'm saying? People with the PPP, right? They just be like, oh, he gotta be scamming. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this dude, and it's funny. It's just funny, right? To like watch shit play out because this is like when you from the outside, when you people when you're a person that didn't partake in any of that stuff, you just like on the outside, like just looking at like the comments that are being made, are being thrown around, like you know what I'm saying about people, about certain things, and you just be like, yo, it's just like funny. It's just like looking at a whole different world. But
Right.
yeah, I don't really want to drag this out. Um, yeah, somebody says self love is the best love, definitely. Um, but I get it. A lot of people don't. I feel like there's gonna be more people who succumb to like the pressures of the media, to the pressures of society, then there's gonna be people who are wholesome, who know their self worth, who know their value, and I think like the media does a good job at keeping us like that. Like, make sure you like the button. I mean, like the button. Make sure you press the like button if you like the content. But like, yeah, I think that a lot of times, you know, you hear it all the time. Like I hear music. Like I be listening to rap sometimes, and I remember Lil Baby said something. He said something in a bunch of songs, not just him, other rappers too. But one of the things that's sticking out right now, he said something about like I ain't fucking nobody if they don't got no ass shots. You know what I'm saying? There's other lines where he say oh, you want your titties done? I'll pay for them. Or like, whatever. Like you want to get some, you know what I'm saying? Like I want to, so it's just like these dudes are offering money, like they're changing girls like appearances, right? Like, because it's nothing. They'll just be like, all right, what 5,000? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying, 10,000, like here. Like, so I just, when I think about that, like, it's almost like you're pushing stuff in the music, the filters. We were just talking about the filters, the bodies, right? Like how we seeing these bodies, and then we just like, yo, like, and then like I be seeing women like, damn, like, you see it so much, like these women be like, yo, like I want to have a body like hers, like, you know what I'm saying, like they admire it, they like, and it's like she didn't go to the gym for it. I don't want to go to the gym for it either, you know. So yeah, it's definitely like a tough time
Yeah,
um to
it,
to 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 be living. And I'm just thinking about the younger people. We was talking about like the younger people coming up, like
I
young,
think
like
what
when
it
I was, yeah, go ahead.
I think what it is, like with the body thing, I think most importantly, I think it's not only the fact that like these women, you just see a whole bunch of these women. I don't think that's what really drives like women to want to get their bodies done. I think what it is that they see the access that these women have to certain type of men, right? So they see that these women are dating the Drakes and the rappers and all the famous rappers, and they're living these lavish lifestyles, all because these men find these specific type of women attractive, right? If we look at the top rappers, baby mothers or girlfriends, they all look the same. They have the exact same body, and some of them have the exact same plastic surgery. So for a lot of these women, they automatically um, associate these surgeries to a lifestyle. So women want to get surgeries so that they can live this lavish lifestyle, and be able to like go on OnlyFans and like take a few pictures and like, you know, fund their whole entire life, right? So I think, and I feel like sometimes I get a little mad at men sometimes, because a lot of some men will say like, like, well, these girls and their fake bodies and this, that, and the third, boom, boom. And like these same men who are commenting on like these fake bodies are the same men who are in all of these Instagram models likes and comments, right? So you're literally like feeding into the problem, right? Like your like literally is equating like to like an actual dollar for somebody, right? It's just contributing to the issue because these very same girls have millions of followers and are getting thousands of likes every single day. So yeah, I just wish more
Definitely.
men would just pay more attention or try to like big up like more women that are like natural, right? But like I said, I think right now specifically is just a very like, tough time.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I think that sometimes I go on Instagram, and it's funny because sometimes I'm on Instagram, like, like I really don't be watching like models and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I watch a lot of sports, and it's funny, like Instagram, it's interesting how Instagram works, right? Because like I'll have math, like whatever you look up the most, it's gonna be on your explorers page. So, it's funny that like every time I go on Instagram, it'd be like everything be sports, and then they'll have this one post of a girl shaking her ass, and she might have clothes on. You know what I'm saying? Because girls be doing, all these challenges and all these dances and all these different things, and I'm like, it's just like that one video that they have, and it'll be some girl shaking her ass. You know what I'm saying? And of course, like, what I'm saying, I'm a man, right? So like sometimes like your attention like gravitates to like, what the fuck is this? Right? Like it's like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's just like it's almost like they purposely do that. So like, and then once you click on it, it's like you go into a whole wormhole of like mad girls dancing, shaking their butt, or doing certain things, right? And it's just like, and I'm always looking at that like, yo, why they like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's very interesting. And yeah, the like thing is like, I always see it like some of these girls got like hundreds of thousands of followers. You know what I'm saying? Just off them posting like images on their swimsuits, right? They got their body done, and that's all they literally do. Like, it's some women on Instagram who like you never seen a picture of them clothed, you never seen a
Yeah,
picture of them like doing something else. Like, it's just
yeah,
always like, even when they do like the little simple things, like when they fake trying to show you their nails. like in the behind the scene, like they'll put their hand between their crotch and they'll be like, "You like my nail color?" Or like you know what I'm saying? Like it just be like, yeah, it's just yeah.
Right. Right.
So yeah, we just
Not.
living in a time where it's just like I don't know, like I just feel like, but I'm also kind of like that too. I just feel like as a woman, like you gotta want to do better too. Like I just think that like I just feel like I get it if you need bread and like ain't no other way, like I get it. But like a lot of times that shit is a fast way out. Just like some of our brothers, they don't want to go get a job. They don't want to do certain shit, right? They just like, nah, fuck I look like working here. You know what I'm saying? When I could just stand in front of the camera. Like for our sisters, right? Some of our sisters, they like, fuck am I gonna do this when I could just sit in front of a camera, you know what I'm saying? And I could like, it's different levels to it. But I just feel like, yeah, like they just sold us this shit. Like we just all messed up. But right, and they think that maybe yeah. So I definitely agree with you. It gets women certain access. Just like the jewelry and the cars get men a certain access, right? Like it gets men to act like a lot of men. Well, some don't know, but some I believe some a lot. I won't say a lot. I believe some men know. Like I'm not gonna get my wife. I'm not gonna get the woman I might want to marry. You know what I'm saying? With the jewels and with the cars. You know what I'm saying? Like most likely, a smart man he knows all he gonna attract is leeches, or he gonna attract the girls that just trying to get something out of him, and he know. So and he just trying to get something out of them. So he, it's like they both trying to use each other, right? Um, Smart men kind of like know, like yeah, like I know if I do this. But then there's also like the fucked up situation. Like I just sent you the shit with Polo G, right? Like then there's also the fucked up situation where like God, I feel like sometimes guys genuinely be trying to take care of women, and they lead with their cash, kind of like what you were saying, right? Like you lead with money, you buy gifts, you do all these things, and it's just like sometimes a chick just sometimes guys can't tell the difference. But that's a whole nother topic and conversation. Um, so yeah, somebody said, imagine what's to come. Definitely. Times is definitely different. Little girls was not wearing makeup when I was growing up. So who knows?
Somebody made a comment saying that, but the men set the market, they chase these type of women and encourage this behavior. And I think that's kind of like going into like what I was saying. Um, yeah, definitely. I think there's a certain type of man that chases that, but yeah, I think men do set the market in a lot of ways, right? Like at the end of the day, like men pick, right?
Yeah.
Men pick who they want to marry. Men pick who they want to take serious. Men pick who they want to parade around. And a lot of times, men are using these women like as trophies, right? Like as another necklace, as another jewelry piece, um, as another way of showing off wealth, right?
Another
Because
accessory.
the ideology behind it is like this bad bitch culture, right? Like like you can't get this bad bitch, right? You know what I'm saying? Like you can't afford her, right? I could go get her titties done, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times women will say like, um, got me a new body, so now I need a new, I need a new dude. Like anybody that I got before that is not my body, right? Like I have a complete different, like I'm gonna mess with different type of dudes after I got my body done, right? Because again, like I said, it's seen as an investment, and it's like you're like a trophy, you're like a piece of jewelry. Um, so yeah, like I agree with that comment, right? Like men do set the market, in a lot of ways.
And you know how jewelry is. Rappers always getting a different chain.
Very true. That's another part of it, right? It's not only having one big one, but having 20 big ones, right? Yeah, like so yeah, I think going back to what you said about Instagram, I think we're definitely seeing like the beauty industry, right? The beauty industry, the $1 billion industry, and Instagram and the beauty industry damn near go hand in hand. They work together, right? And part of that is part of the beauty industry, a main part of the beauty industry is by convincing people who are perfectly fine that they're ugly and that something's wrong with them and that they need to spend thousands of dollars, whether or not it's in makeup or clothes or this workout program or these lip fillers. And if you invest in this, you're gonna be beautiful. You're gonna look better. You're gonna get more likes. You're gonna get more attention, right? So it just goes hand in hand.
Yeah. I wonder. This is interesting, right? Because the person made the comment and said, "But man set the market," and I think that like because I had this conversation with another woman, and even though I agree to a certain extent, I think that like I don't really. I just think that sometimes when some people say that, it's just like to toss the blame. You know know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, like yeah, man can approach you and man can say whoever, right? Let's just say to sell cologne, for example, right? A man can approach you like, yo, do you want to be a model? You know, sometimes they come with the, you want to be a model for this. Like you trying to sell cologne, right? And a lot of times when they trying to sell something, half the time they always have a person half naked, or they always, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially like with cologne and stuff, right? Like you always see men, either they like in underwear, or you see women, they like in, lingerie, like, just trying to sell certain products, right? Like they connect like the skin to it, right? Like this, and I feel like at the same time, like, let's say, like my man's made a comment one time. He was like, he said, yo, when a woman posts a picture, he was just saying like when a woman posts a picture, right? And she do whatever the 3/4 turn, what's it called, the 3/4 turn. It's a certain men, they're gonna jump on it. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be in the comments, they're gonna be in the likes, they're gonna be like, it's certain men you're gonna attract. Like, you know what I'm saying? They, what I'm saying. Um, and the thing is this, it's rare that you're gonna meet somebody you might want to marry. You know what I'm saying? Amongst that bunch, right? Because if they just jumping at the you know what I'm saying? They jumping all over, like you said. You sometimes you see dudes all over these Instagram models likes, right? So they're jumping all over like whoever, you know what I'm saying? Like if your shit look nice today and her shit look nice tomorrow, they jumping on her shit tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was trying to get at that, like, and my man said, he was like, I bet you if you post a picture reading a book, he said, I bet you some dudes that like women that read books, they you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be like, oh shit, they gonna be in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you attract people based on like what you do, I believe, right? Um, and I think that at the same time, like when you said the man set the market, I think that like if like a woman that values herself a certain way, like she's not gonna do certain shit. You know what I'm saying she not gonna do certain shit. She's not gonna move a certain way, and we get that. Everybody not gonna say that, but I'm just saying like, where's the agency at the same time? I think like we all agents of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like I don't do certain shit because I don't want to attract certain type of women. I don't want somebody to think um I don't want to think that, like somebody just said, shout out to all the immigrants living better than the people born in America. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know about what he meant by better, but like based on the topic, all I could think about is just like how sometimes some of those people who come from somewhere else, they have a certain morality. You know what I'm saying? They have a certain like standard, right? Like especially when they come from like a big family background or whatever the case might be. Because I just think like a lot of shit is cultural. But I feel like I'm just going all over the place. But yeah, I just wanted to say that it's like we all have agencies. We all have an agency as a people, and I think that like although like there's pressure from society, right? It's always going to be some societal pressure, right? Like it's always pressure for young black men, right? To try to get into the gang life, to try to get into the drug life, to try to like, we hear it in the music. It's always pressure of like what choice you're gonna make. I think at the end of the day, like it's ultimately down to you, like, and a lot of people don't have the strength, but it's ultimately down to you to be like, nah, like I'm not gonna do that. Like I'm not gonna go out there and do that.
Right. I just think for me, I understand when people say like but men set the market. Um I think for me, I don't think about it in terms of shifting the blame. I think in terms of like hypocrisy, right? I think a lot of times men will critique sex work and critique certain women who are engaged in a certain type of way, or who are taking pictures, right? And like being naked. Um but they'll critique it, but in the same breath, they'll go around and they'll watch porn, right? Or they'll go around and they'll subscribe to like somebody's OnlyFans, right? Or they'll like just, you know, um, be engaging in these activities. So it's just like with one word, you can't come out your mouth and say that, you wish women were more modest, or, like you don't respect women who like do certain things, or you don't think that this is cool and this is okay. But literally turn around and engage in it and like and take the money out of your pocket and like fund it. It just doesn't make sense to me. So that's just the only part that that's what I thought of when I say the men set the market, right? Um, whatever y'all choose to highlight, whatever y'all choose to engage in, whatever y'all choose to give y'all attention, because that's what it is, right? Like it's all a competition for attention, right? Like certain women, there's certain women who are in the other extreme, right? There's certain women who will paint themselves as being like very prudish and very modest and very I keep my legs closed and I don't do this and I don't do that because it's this good girl versus bad girl thing, right? Like, I'm a good girl, right? So because I'm a good girl, I should be treated in a certain type of way, right? And those are hoes, right? And they'll participate in the own like in breaking down other women, right, to make themselves feel better because they're supposed to be holier than thou, right? So there's women who invest in different types in this whole different game. There's women that invest in different what's the word that I could use? In different facades, right? Because it's all a facade, right? It's a facade that you're a good girl and you never did nothing bad or you never did nothing that could be deemed as promiscuous or slutty. And it's also another facade to be on the other hand and talk about how sex you are, how promiscuous you are, all type of stuff. You're just seeking attention. So I just think that once men understand that and realize wherever they divert their attention, wherever they divert their funds, their money, that's what's coming from these things, that's what you're going to see the most out of, right? So if you want a woman who is clothed and modest and like wears books and stuff like that, just make sure your timeline reflects that, right? Make sure that the women that you're choosing to engage with reflects that, right? So yeah, because like a girl could, so a lot of times I see a lot of good girls who be like, you know what, fuck it. I'm saying I'm not getting the attention I want, I'm not getting the likes that I want. And we've discussed this, right? Like I've seen shorties where you scroll down to the bottom of their feed, they're dressed modestly or relatively nicely, and then as it goes up, you see that they start to take off their clothes more and more and more, and they're just like, you're like, who is this person, right? All for the attention of men because they feel like, damn, I ain't winning, these hoes winning, so let me do what they doing. You know what I'm saying? Because I want some attention, right? So yeah.
So how do you cope with that shift? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I noticed you're a sister too. Good looking,
Right,
brother. I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. We definitely appreciate you, Sean. Good looking. He said this is
have
the
love.
most sensible conversation I've seen in mad long. Shouts out to y'all. So
Oh,
how do you
thank
kind of
you.
like how do you kind of deal with that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you're a young sister, coming up in a world of, of plastic this, plastic that, clout this, clout that, like just doing a whole bunch of stuff
Right,
for the internet.
right.
Like, like, what are certain things like what is your methods? You know, there might be some sisters paying attention. Like what are certain, because a lot of people deal with different type of pressure, right? It's peer pressure all over, all around, whether it's to take our clothes off, whether it's to do something illegal, whether it's to whatever, right? Just fit in. So like what are like some things you do, or like do you ever go through those things, or like do you have pep talks with yourself, or like how,
Most,
or like what do you do?
most, most definitely, right? Like I'm gonna be real. There's definitely times where and I know this is directly connected to social media, where I'll like start looking at my body and I'll start thinking like, oh, this is not perfect, or this doesn't look this way. I want this to look this way, and like I'll say, like it definitely feeds into my insecurities. And sometimes, it's good to take a break, right, from social media. It's good to get away from those images. Or sometimes we know that the good thing about social media is that relatively, based on the algorithm, if we learn how to use the algorithm to our advantage, we can go and tailor our likes, tailor our followers, so that we can in fact see the opposite, right? So what I did was on social media, I unfollowed a lot of these girls who had unrealistic bodies, right? Or I made sure that I wasn't liking certain pictures, and instead maybe following pictures of women who worked out, right? Of women who did have very nice bodies, but bodies that are somewhat achievable, bodies that are things that something that I could work on if I did go to the gym, things that were more healthy and natural, like from my mental state. But to be real with you, I definitely struggle with that. I struggle with that often. Um, and again, like I said, but I think that I'm a little bit more aware, and I think that once you learn like what the method is and the reasoning is behind making you feel insecure, because that's what their goal is. Um, you can have those pep talks with yourself, and you could basically whenever you get off track in terms of your thoughts, you can like direct yourself back onto the right path. Um, so yeah. But personally for me, I feel like I think I've never really had to do much to get attention. And I think that
Okay.
no, I'm not even saying that in a braggy way, right?
Nah, I just playing.
But I think that you got to get in where you fit in, right? Like you have to take a step away from consistently always thinking about like that the validation of men and centering your identity and your value as a woman around the type of men that you have access to, right? So I think like once you shift your ideas and your value away from being able to have a man or being able to have a very rich or wealthy man, I think that's when you can start getting into like the nitty gritty about who you are as a person. And I think that ultimately, no matter how attractive you are, no matter how pretty you are, no matter how smart you are, no matter the things that you have, I think confidence is going to speak way louder than that. So I just, my advice to all women would to be is to learn yourself, right, and learn your strengths and learn like what you have to offer. Every woman and every person has different talents and bring something different to the table. You just have to figure that out. Once you figure that out, like shine, like just grow in that. You know what I'm saying? And trust me, like you will be seen. Um, and you will be seen by who matters, right? If you ever have to do too much to get attention, if you ever have to do too much to be taken seriously, you're not in the right space. You know what I'm saying? These are not the right people that you want to be around. Just be yourself, as corny as that sounds. But yeah,
And I definitely thank you. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and hopefully, somebody else will benefit from it. And that's listening. Make sure y'all like the video so it could, it could go around. And yeah, I definitely agree. And I think that that's something that like I also practice, right? Like, cause I think like, I think like as much as we might not know, like men are very insecure too. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think like it don't, it don't. A lot of times people be thinking like, what the fuck you insecure about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes women be thinking like that, right? Like they just be like, what are you insecure about? But like, I feel like there's a lot of pressures on men, right? Like, I think like making money. I think like just being able to have a certain amount of money, right? Like it's just like a guy knows like we was just talking about that, like how sometimes other guys make other guys feel small. Like you might go to a club. This is like just a small example. You might go to a club and like you said, one dude he might get one bottle, another dude gets two. It don't even got nothing to do with him. Like
right,
he got two bottles, but it's just like, and I think the whole thing of the bottle girls, right? Making a whole entrance with the sparkles, with the all that attention, right? On like who's buying the bottles, right? Like sometimes you buy two bottles, two bottle girls come out. You know what I'm saying? Or sometimes they just do that because it just brings more attention, right?
right,
Even though one could have carried both bottles, they'll bring two girls out.
right.
You know what I'm saying? You get
It's a pissing contest between men. Yeah,
so now it's like, and dudes, and I think they know that, right? Because I think like it never fails. Like, you know what I'm saying? Dude get two bottles over there. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be somebody else in there that's gonna be like, nah, we gotta get three.
right.
Or we got to get four. And dudes will literally chip in, put their little scraps together if their money not long enough, because
All
it's like,
for all for their little 5 minutes in the club, because that's it's probably 2 minutes of the girls bringing the sparklers and everybody in the club looking at you, seeing that you got bottles to see. That's all you want to get in a
but that's
Snapchat
what
video.
but you get more than that. Because the people are looking. See,
True.
the people, like you said, right? Like just like women, they do the body thing because of the access. Guys are doing the same thing. They're
Right.
they're like, people is watching them. So now, like, in the minds of the women that are leeches, or they just trying to, they're like, oh, they was popping bottles, girl. They was
Right.
we
Let's go over
we
there. Right.
we going with them. We going with them tonight. Like
Right.
if they looking for that vibe. So
Right.
and so it's like you said, it's like this competition. It's just like this back and forth. And I feel like we talking about misconceptions, and that be a misconception too, because sometimes it's just like it's just like somebody, you might not even have bread. Like you might not even doing you're not even doing nothing. Like, but you really like just even with the clothes. Like you said, like a dude will be sleeping with his mom. He'll be staying with his mom. Like remember we was talking about the Chanel bag, and you was just like, I would never get a Chanel bag until I have certain things in order, until like I'm good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's like a great mindset. But I'm saying a lot of sisters, they're not thinking like that. They would save up money. They would save up a few checks, and they're going to spend all that money on the bag.
Mm-hmm.
If they can't get nobody to get it for them, they going, and even when we think certain shit just come for free, like when we think a motherfucker just spending money on a bag for a girl, like you said one time to me, you was like, that should be coming with a lot of shit sometimes that we don't know what they did. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? We don't know where she was flown to, or what she had to do, or who she had to do, or how many she had to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't be knowing like some of the back scene stuff
No,
that
very
these
true.
women might do for these surgeries, or that they might do for these bags. Like,
Very true.
some
Very true.
sometimes you
And
might
it's
look up.
it's so and I swear, like it's so easy again as women, right? Like when we're on these platforms to like see these women who are being gifted like these very expensive like luxurious things. But like we don't know what these women are dealing with, right? But at the end of the day, like I know myself, I go to sleep every single night with dignity. I'm able to walk these streets with my head held up high because I know that I've just stuck to certain morals or certain codes, right? In a lot of these situations, these women are selling their souls, right? And it's like very lonely. It's a very lonely life. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think that sometimes, like these lives get glamorized. A lot of times these women feed into it, right? To help their own self esteem and to make these other women feel like you should come and do what I'm doing, right? Um, because it's so easy, right? When it's not. When they don't tell you about the countless of times that men have disrespected them. When they don't tell you about the countless times that they may have engaged on sexual relations with a man and they may not have been given anything, right? Um, the amount of times that they've been passed around to like multiple like different men, right? Or the amount of times that they could tell you that these men like may have gifted these $1,000 bags, right? But that also comes with control, right? That also comes with like
Yeah,
abuse, right? Like these men will help you and get you a $10,000 bag or will fly you out quick to Miami. But when it's time to pay for tuition, when it's time to pay for rent, when you're homeless and sleeping in your car and you really actually need help, how these men are like not here for you, right? Like emotionally, right? Or like actually in real life to refund you, right? Now all these things that they're investing in are just to help them, right? Because niggas will say like, oh, if like Future said this, right? Like Future said like, if she don't got an AP or something like that, right? Like she ain't mine, right? Meaning that like he gives his women like very expensive watches to show to people that like, this is mine, right? So like multiple of his women,
thank you.
multiple of his baby mothers, thank you, multiple of his baby mothers will have um, like expensive watches and luxurious
Yeah,
things and Chanel bags. Like it's a trophy thing. Like it's like, look, I'm rich and look at how I'm dressed and look, my girl rich too. And look, she got all these expensive things on too, right? So I just think it's a very dark side to that world that we as women, as normal 9 to 5 working natural women are not seeing. And there's also women who have gone and altered their bodies and now are in tears because their bodies have failed them, right? We see the K Michelles, right? We see the Dream Dolls. We see the women who have to go through so much expensive and crazy surgeries to take out this poison out of their bodies. And it's so much harder to take these things out than to put it in, right? And that leaves you with worse scars and with the worse body than what you started, right? And that leaves you with health complications for the rest of your life that may leave you infertile. And you may not have the ability to like, create children, or it may increase your chances of having fibroids, especially as Black women, right? These are things that like are not being spoken about. Um, so yeah,
yeah. Somebody was saying that people seek attention, period. And I think like they said, regardless of gender, make sure y'all like the video, so it can circulate. And I think I agree, like, but I think certain type of people seek attention. And like you said, like I feel like society whole goal is to like break down the self-consciousness, or to break down the high self-esteem, because they make money out of it, right? Like if I make you feel ugly and unuseful and unworthy, right? It's only two things that's gonna happen. You're either gonna invest in some products, you're either gonna invest in certain things, you're gonna do the surgery, get certain clothes, right? Because this is the things that we think that we can change, right? It's almost um like like example for God, right? Like if a guy can't satisfy his woman, or if he got a small wee wee, right? Like it's not, it's like it's the reality of him going to get surgery and like actually it being successful, right? It's just like it's very slim, right? Or like even doing something for him. So what do? Right? It's not like women, right? Like a woman could just go, she could just go add on some, take some out, do certain things, boom, 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 right? And the guy, like he's just like what do I do, right? So you try to get certain other things that you can get, right? You try to get the chain, you try to get the car, you try to get, you just try to buy shit. You know what I'm saying? You might come to
right,
the point where you just might start buying pussy. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Like because it's like it's not really certain things you could do. I mean, still attached to money, but
Right.
even a girl, like a broke girl, could make herself look nice. Like if she got a nice body, if she could just she could go to the gym, she could go to the park, she could go jogging. It's much more cheaper for her to get herself together than for you. Like you were saying, like you know what I'm saying, like a woman can like she go throw on a cheap ass dress. You know what I'm saying, and she can make it look nice if she have a nice body. You know what I'm
Right,
saying.
because
And
it's not about your money. Men don't care about how much money a woman has. A man will have hundreds of thousands of dollars, or will be set in life, right? And will choose the girl that works at McDonald's easily over the girl who may be a lawyer, may be working corporate, right? If she's more attractive, if she's prettier, right? Like it's literally that simple. Because that's what it's not about. For women, it's not about how much money you have. You're not a man, right? That's not your value. Value is in how you look, for the most part. Not saying I agree with this. I'm just saying this is just how the world
reality.
operates.
That's just
Yeah.
the reality. Like, yeah, I think people have a hard time with that. Like the reality of the situation is the reality. We don't like it. We wish we probably wasn't living in it, but the reality is that that's the reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, even like, and it's crazy because like I just feel like we was talking about this too. We was talking about like how people always. I just feel like the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said richness is not how much wealth you accumulate. He said, but richness is being content with what you have. And a lot of people is not content. And I feel like, and this is not to say that you can't be ambitious, but I feel like you gotta have a goal. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like some people just have like these goals of like these never ending goals. And not saying that like I mean the brain always gonna have never ending goals, but I just feel like sometimes people have like they don't got a cap on what they want, right? Like me, I just want to have a family, and I wanna like not really have to like struggle. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I struggled growing up. For me, like I just want to be content. Like I mean, I'm gonna struggle, but I'm just saying like not like I was growing up. I don't want to have to struggle. Like you know what I'm saying? Like in a certain type of way. I don't want to have to be like wondering. Like I don't want to have kids or my family, or we struggling to eat, or we struggling to pay bills, or we struggling to do certain things, right? Like I just want to be content. Like I don't seek like I really like some people like I want to be rich. I want to be this. I want to be that. Like you just chasing something, right? Like, and then it's like when you say rich, it's like, yeah, you get $1 million, but then it's
Yeah, after
like
that.
you just keep going. It's just like there's no cap, there's no contentment. It's just like billionaires. You see it today, like they get 1 billion, they want another billion, right? They want another 10, like, and it's just like you just keep going, like, um, and I think like yeah, like I think I kind of like have a cap on like what I want, like, and that doesn't mean that I'm not ambitious. I just feel like I just want to work and I want to do certain things. And I don't really want to talk about all the stuff, right? But like I just don't I certain things I want to do. It's not like some endless shit. Like you know what I'm saying? It's not like some like, oh, I just don't have a cap on how much money I want. Like it don't even matter about the money. I just want to be content because you could be content with whatever, right? It's just on your means, right? Like how you living, what you invest in, what you buy, and living in your means. But I just want to be content. Um yeah, and then somebody, you had something to say?
Me? No.
It said the system, yeah, that's the fact. The system profit from us feeling inadequate. It said capitalism at its finest. It's also hard because some of the people that are your friends are the girls that turn out take the clothes off, and you have to unfollow them. Yep, it be like that sometimes. Sometimes your friends are the people that try to influence you to do some shit. And sometimes you got to get rid of them. They be like, "Yeah, girl, go ahead, like go do this," and it's crazy. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes your guys influence you to do some stuff. Sometimes your girls influence you. Um, like I was just gonna mention something, but but yeah, sometimes our closest people are the ones who, like, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said that man is upon the religion of his friend. So be careful who your friends are. And this is why, like, it's funny because when it comes to like guys, right? Like if all your friends are drug dealers, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna become a drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? If all your friends are basketball players, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna start playing basketball with them. You know what I'm saying? because you are based on you're gonna do shit that your friends do. You know, that's just how it goes. Um, and but I feel like when it comes to women, right, it's like women be trying to convince us that like, yeah, all my friends are hoe, but I'm not a hoe though. I just chill with them. Like I just hang with them. Like, and I feel like that shit is just like so. But anyway, we're not even. That's a whole nother conversation. But I just thought about that because she was just talking about she mentioned your friends, how your friends, like sometimes you might be hanging around certain friends and they doing certain shit to their bodies, right? And you're like the only one, you might be like the only one that might have a different mindset. And sometimes you gotta let go of those friends. Sometimes you gotta be like I can't really like you are your own individual, but like it's only a matter of time for they get to you. You
True.
know what I'm saying? Like when your friends doing certain shit, it's only a matter of time. Like when your friends doing Molly and you're not doing it, or you could be strong willed, but it's like if you constantly around them, they're gonna get you.
Hmm.
Some way it might be out. We don't know how long it's gonna take, right? Some people crack earlier than others, but I think like just constantly being around certain people, they eventually gonna get you to do whatever shit that they up on, whatever shit that they're doing.
Right.
And I guess that's when that break shit comes in that you was talking about. Like sometimes you got to just take a break from social media. But yeah, we've been going. Hold on. Do you guys think that the skills can have been prevented during time? Somebody asked a question. Um, they said, "Do you guys think that these insecurities could have been prevented during childhood and nurturing?" I'm gonna let you answer that because we was talking about women's misconceptions.
Um, I think somewhat. I think somewhat. I think that um, I think parenting can have a little bit to do with it as well. I think if your parents, if your mom, if your dad gives you positive affirmations, like about how you look, right, growing up, right? Like some of us never hear our moms like say that like we're beautiful, right? That like we're pretty, right? Or like we never hear like that like from our moms, like oh, like you're handsome, right? So it's like if we think, or sometimes they may say the opposite, right? So I think that if your parents either build up, that's great. And if they like tear you down, that's something that you have to work towards yourself. But I think ultimately, the thing about self-esteem is that no matter what comes into play, no matter what parent said this to you, or a friend, or whatever said this to you, self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? No matter however you feel about yourself, is however you feel about yourself. And when you truly feel positively about yourself, or even negatively, right? Like nobody can come in and change that. You have to change your own mentality, right? You have to change the way that you view yourself, no matter what you have around you. There's beautiful women that have been told that they're beautiful their entire lives, right? But still, if that woman thinks that she's ugly, there's nothing that this world could do to change that. And you'll watch her go and modify her face and change her whole body, and everybody will tell her like, yo, why'd you do that? You were so pretty, right? But if she looks in the mirror and she thinks that she's ugly, there's nothing anybody can do for her. You have to do that work yourself.
That's
That's what
real.
I think.
And I wanted to add on the book. I always tell y'all if you haven't seen it, I do book reviews. Psycho Cybernetics is a great book. It speaks about that. He was a doctor of cause he used to do plastic surgery. So that was his job. He used to do plastic surgery, and he basically talks about the power of the brain. And he talks about how like pretty women used to come there. Like he used to say like pretty women used to come there and talk about I want a nose job. I want they was just getting all this plastic surgery. And he was like, and some of them would be beautiful. They ain't have nothing wrong with them. He said, to be honest, I feel like plastic surgery should just be for the people who, you get into an accident, car crash, certain things happen and you want to fix certain things. He said, I could understand that. Or certain things. But he was just saying like, some people will come in there and he said, I didn't understand it at first. He was saying that they'll be beautiful and they just felt ugly. And he was just saying, like, I started to study and do certain things. And he said he realized that it was something in their mind. He was saying there was people that they was beautiful, but they already felt ugly. They had something in their mind that was just they just felt like they had to fix something. And then some people went down the like somebody said Lil Kim, and some people went down the ugly path of like once you get one surgery, you get another one, you get another one, you get another. You know what I'm saying? It just never stops, right? And then he also mentioned like, and then there were some people who he made, he fixed them up, they became beautiful, and he was just saying, but they still felt ugly. And he was just saying like he started to notice that it was something in the brain that they needed to change. It didn't matter what they changed on the outside. It didn't matter about the appearance. It didn't matter about anything. And in the book, he also mentions like a person that, and I always mention this quote. He said a person that believes, deeply believes that they are meant to be a peasant, that they are meant to be less than, that they are meant to be a slave, that they are meant to be like no good. Like, sometimes like parents grow up, like they raise their kids telling them all the time, you ain't shit, or you're gonna be like your daddy, or you gonna, what I'm saying, like certain harmful things, right? And I think like that stays with kids. And somebody mentioned like the nurturing, that stays with kids. Like how you was treated in your house, and sometimes like your mother be sometimes mothers be vicious, yo. Sometimes mothers be like they fuck up their whole kids' lives. And they don't even, what I'm saying? And then it's like they be sitting there wondering like why my child doesn't, what I'm saying, doesn't perform well, why my child feels like this, why my child's rebelling, why my child is so angry, why my child is, and it's like, yo, you created that beast. Like, I'm saying, like you didn't nurture it, you didn't care for it,
Right.
you didn't give it love, you didn't give it certain things, and it's because you probably didn't have it. And I get it, I get the whole cycle. Um, but I
Somebody
just wanted,
sorry, go ahead.
go ahead.
Somebody
But yeah,
somebody
but I
commented
think
the celebrity life got glamorized to regular people through social media. I feel like that should be a whole nother topic. Definitely, definitely. Especially like
yeah,
I think firsthand I think about capitalism, right? And this idea of just like having ridiculous amounts of of material things, right? And promoting this idea that, if you just get that one hit, right? If you just get that one viral video, if you just get that one fire picture, you can be among the rest of us, right? And celebrity life, it's not realistic. And no matter how much money you obtain,
the
right? Like
blue check.
yeah, no matter how much money you obtain, you will never live that lifestyle. So that's another thing. And somebody else commented and said black women used to be the standard of beauty. And I want to correct that. Black women are still the standard of beauty. Still. The only thing that has changed is colorism, right? And that's never changed. It's always been around. What we are seeing though is these caricatures of black women, right? We are seeing white women, but white women who have white features, somewhat white features, but they're going and they're getting their lips done right bigger, right? They're going and they're getting certain injections in their face and in their chin to make themselves have stronger faces. And we know that oftentimes African women, right, continental African women, have been teased, right, for having these same strong features that they're getting in their jaws and in their cheekbones, right? These same women are getting very large breasts, very small waists, and very, very big behinds, right? And we all know that European women are not naturally shaped like this. And that at a certain point in history, these black women, Sarah Bartman, I'm sure people are aware of that, you can search up, were being paraded around in circuses, right? Like literally for having a large behind, right? People were literally coming just to watch an African woman um, have a large behind, right? And now like that's a common thing, right? And now like every woman, like you're seeing, like we're seeing Hispanic, we're seeing white women, we're seeing Asian women, all these different people um, with like these ridiculous large behinds, right? So just to correct that statement, right? Like black women are still the standard of beauty, but it's kind of like hip hop, right? A lot of people like to see blackness performed by non-black people. So yeah,
Yeah, that's true too. It's like
they
it's
want the
like it's
black
only beauty.
body, but they want the loose curly hair. They want the light
It's like
skin.
it's like
They
it's
want
only
the
beauty when
ambiguous.
somebody else doing it.
They want, yes, right. They want the ambiguity, um, like that aspect, right? Like they need that in there, right? Because that's another part though too, because black women are not, and black women, specifically black women who look like black women, right? Dark skinned black women are not tied to um are not trophies in the same way that other women are trophies, right? And a lot of times men associate themselves with women, much like women do with men, as a way to push themselves like within like this social mobile ladder, right? So if you attach yourself to a very beautiful, like ambiguous looking woman, other men will respect you, right? Because you have garnered the attention and you have kept this very attractive woman by your side. Um, so yeah,
Yeah, definitely agree. But there's no more questions. But we definitely We was out for a little bit. I was on vacation. She was on vacation. But we definitely got some more interesting conversations for y'all. Definitely. Black girl coming from a nigga probably again. Her stomach drain. Um, yeah, it's crazy. The surgery stuff is crazy. But hey, to some people it's an investment. To some people, if they work with their bodies, you gotta invest in your craft. You know what I'm saying? If you're working at strip club or you're doing whatever you're doing with your body, shit, listen. But you know what I'm saying? Like for everybody else, we're trying to be. I don't even know who Sarah Bartman is.
Yeah,
But
you should search up
somebody said everybody trying to be Sarah Bartman.
apartment today. You should literally search her up. She's literally the original Kim Kardashian. Yeah.
Mm,
This is during
yeah, so
slavery times, literally.
the
But
single mothers create the same men they complain about. Somebody put, do single mothers create the same men they complain about?
that's another topic. We could do that on another
Yeah,
podcast for sure.
definitely. Um, yeah, yeah, we're probably gonna talk about that on some other stuff. We're on our way out. We don't want to like be all over the place with the topics. Big booty means treasure. She the OG Kim K. She said booty means treasure. She the OG Kim K. All right, but thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate everybody that came through. Can't be yeah. So thanks for everybody tuning in. I appreciate y'all supporting. Even though we the long little break that we took, I still appreciate we appreciate the support. The people that came through, donated. The people that came through, listened. The people that came through, like, shared. We appreciate it. Make sure y'all stay
Right.
tuned next Sunday at 10. We definitely gonna be, what I'm saying, bringing these conversations because somebody need to have them, man. Enough is enough, man. Today was a little light, but I'll be shooting. But y'all have a good one. Y'all take care and y'all be safe out there. Enjoy y'all summer. Peace.
Peace.